म छुट्टी शर्माको भित्ताहरू लास्टै चम्के अनि एक होइन धेरै आए लागे। अब तपाईँ पनि होम सिल्ड वाटरप्रुफ पट्टी लगाउनुस्, मात्र भित्ता होइन लाइफ चम्काउनुस्।
मेरो टार्गेट स्कुल च्याम्प बन्ने।
मेरो उद्देश्य लाइफमा प्रमोसन पाउनु।
मेरो चाहना यो रानीलाई नेरी बनाउनु।
म चाहिँ यिनीहरूलाई चाँडै हुर्किएको हेर्न चाहन्छु।
मेरो चाहना मेरो परिवारको इच्छा पूरा गर्नु हो। म दिन्छु विवा मेरो परिवारलाई हरेक दिन।
मेरो आमाले मेरो सबै थोकुन्।
विवा शुभ दिनको सुरुवात।
शिवम सिमेन्ट शुभ आरम्भ शिवम सँग। शिवम सिमेन्ट शुभ आरम्भ शिवम सँग।
Close your eyes and miss me. I can read your lips on your fingertips and happiness in your eyes.
Smooth silk, now with a crunchy surprise. Presenting new Cadbury Silk Oreo.
कोशिश त धेरै गर्छु, तैपनि थकान किन फर्केर आउँछ?
थकाइको एक इम्पोर्टेन्ट कारण हुन सक्छ नदेखिने सेल ड्यामेज। लाइट हर्लिङ जसमा छ एन्टिअक्सिडेन्ट न्युट्रिएन्ट्स अनि प्रोटिन जुन सेल्सलाई ड्यामेज हुनबाट बचाउन र रिपेयर गर्नको लागि जरुरी छ। लाइट हर्लिङ फर स्ट्रेन्थ एन्ड स्टामिना।
शताब्दीौंदेखि निर्माणको अटुट भरोसा हो स्टिल र नयाँ युगको स्टिल हो राइनो 500D। उच्च डक्टिलिटी, अतुलनीय मजबुती। नेपाल जस्तो भूकम्पीय जोखिम युक्त क्षेत्रको लागि नेपालमा पहिलो पटक नेपालकै लागि राइनो 500D ग्यारेन्टेड डक्टिलिटी।
मबाट तिमीले त्यो सब पाउँदैछौ जसबाट तिमी बढ्दैछौ हरेक दिन। मदर्स हर्लिक्स, यसमा छ पोषण जस्तै प्रोटिन, डीएचए र माइक्रोन्युट्रिएन्ट जुन रेगुलर डाइटको साथ जरुरी छ बच्चाको सही विकास र उचित वजनको लागि। मदर्स हर्लिक्स खास पोषण प्रेग्नेन्सीमा।
प्राइड रिफ्रेश एन्ड रिचार्ज अफर। लेबल पछाडि रहेको युनिक कोडलाई 36768 मा एसएमएस गरी रु 4 करोड भन्दा बढी टक टाइम जित्ने मौका पाउनुहोस्।
रिफ्रेश बनायो, रिचार्ज गरायो।
बच्चाहरूमा बढ्ने भोक त्यस बेला जाग्छ जब उनीहरूलाई पूरा पोषण मिल्छ। तर एक रिसर्चले भने अनुसार 10 मध्येमा 9 बच्चाहरूको खानामा जरुरी पोषक तत्वको कमी हुन सक्छ।
त्यसैले खानाको साथमा मेरो हर्लिक्स, यसको पोषणले बच्चाहरूलाई बनाउँछ टलर, स्ट्रङ्गर, सर्पर।
जसले पशुपति टीएमटीले घर बनाउँछ उसलाई के को चिन्ता, ढुक्कले निदाउँछ।
झुल्किरहेछ, बढिरहेछ, छरिँदै मिठो मुस्कान यो फैलिरहेछ। सम्बन्ध यो बनेर डो विश्वासको
नाता मनको अटुट छ, निभाउँछु साथसँगै यात्रा हाम्रो यो छ कठिन, गर्छु पार यो साथसँगै।
उडिरहेछ, बढिरहेछ,
फिजाई पङ्ख
सम्बन्ध 50 वर्षको होन्डा।
बच्चाहरूमा बढ्ने भोक त्यसबेला जाग्छ जब उनीहरूलाई पूरा पोषण मिल्छ। तर एक रिसर्चले भने अनुसार 10 मध्येमा 9 बच्चाहरूको खानामा जरुरी पोषक तत्वको कमी हुन सक्छ।
त्यसैले खानाको साथमा मेरो हर्लिक्स, यसको पोषणले बच्चाहरूलाई बनाउँछ टलर, स्ट्रङ्गर, सफर। सेन्सिटिभिटी एक यस्तो चीज हो जुन चिसो, तातो, गुलियो, अमिलो खाँदा तपाईलाई एक सेन्सेसन हुन्छ। त्यसैले हामी भन्छौँ सेन्सोडाइन दिनको 2 पल्ट लगातार प्रयोग गर्नु। सेन्सोडाइन दाँतको जरासम्म गएर नसालाई आराम दिन्छ र तपाईँ आफ्नो सबै मनपर्ने चीजहरू, चिसो, तातो सबै कुरा खान पिउन सक्नुहुन्छ बिना कुनै रोकटोक।
New Sensodyne Deep Clean for advanced cleaning and lasting freshness.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्स टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर ब्याङ्क, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
30 पछि बोन्सबाट क्याल्सियम कम हुन जान्छ र जरुरी छ कि क्याल्सियम बोन्ससम्म पुगोस्। आजबाट नयाँ वुमेन्स हर्लिक्स, यसको स्पेशलाइज क्याल्सियम फर्मुला क्याल्सियमलाई बोनसम्म पुर्याउन मद्दत गर्छ। वुमेन्स हर्लिक्स।
स्टे स्ट्रङ।
शिवम सिमेन्ट, शुभ आरम्भ शिवमसँग। शिवम सिमेन्ट, शुभ आरम्भ शिवमसँग।
ललिपप
यो लिऊ प्राण ललिपप। प्राण ललिपप, ललिपपको असली स्वाद।
साउजी रिचार्ज पाउन? यो रिचार्ज होइन, स्प्राइट।
जसले स्प्राइट खोल्छ रिचार्ज हुन्छ। लेबल पछाडि रहेको युनिक कोडलाई 36768 मा एसएमएस गरी रु 10 देखि 5000 सम्मको रिचार्ज र 4 करोड भन्दा बढी टक टाइम जित्ने मौका पाउनुहोस्।
यो अफर स्प्राइट कोक फ्यान्टामा उपलब्ध छ। रिफ्रेश बनायो, रिचार्ज गरायो।
जसरी एउटा सुमधुर सम्बन्ध अग्नि साक्षीबाट सुरु हुन्छ, त्यसरी नै हरेक मजबुत निर्माणको सुरुवात हुन्छ अग्नि सिमेन्टबाट। अग्नि सिमेन्ट।
ललिपप
यो लिऊ प्राण ललिपप। प्राण ललिपप, ललिपपको असली स्वाद।
शिवम सिमेन्ट, शुभ आरम्भ शिवमसँग।
मलाई लैजाने हो भने त भविष्य हेर्नुपर्छ।
आईएसओ मान्यता प्राप्त 100% शुद्धता र बाइब्याकको ग्यारेन्टी। सुन, चाँदी तथा हीरा पसल लकी ज्वेलर्स, न्यू रोड, काठमाडौँ।
थ्याङ्क यू। व्यस्त जीवनशैली, चर्को घाम अनि दैनिक दौडधुप यी सबैले गर्दा अहिले हाम्रो अनुहारको समस्या बढ्दै गइरहेको छ र तपाईहरुलाई थाहा नै छ मेरो प्रोफेसनमा अनुहारको चमकता कति इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ। त्यसैले गर्दा म लेट मी इन नै रोज्छु। यहाँ कस्मेटो डर्मेटोलोजिस्ट र ब्युटिशियनहरूद्वारा उच्च स्तरीय कोरियन टेक्नोलोजीबाट छाला तथा सौन्दर्य सम्बन्धी उपचारहरू गरिन्छ र यहाँको उपचार खर्च अरूको दाजुमा सस्तो र सुलभ रहेको छ। त्यसैले त म लेट मी इनको प्रोडक्ट र सर्भिसबाट पूर्ण रूपमा सन्तुष्ट छु। लेट मी इन कोरियन एस्थेटिक, न्यू बानेश्वर, काठमाडौँ।
One ball left in this 21st over, and as Peter mentioned earlier, the Duckworth Lewis Park currently 71 and the Dutch on 83, so it always keeps you knowing what's going on as Dan pushes hard through point, looking for two. They won't get it. And 84 after 21 overs, Pete.
Yeah, excellent over that for the Netherlands. They've just milked Rigby there. As Delata and Rippon milked Rigby very nicely on Wednesday, so he's not keeping it as tight as he would like. It's good batting though, isn't it?
It's extremely impressive batting here. Just as I've said, these two have really complemented complemented each other very well. Looking for singles, and you feel as though the skipper's, well, he's made a change of bowling. Yes, we're seeing a change of bowling. Number 45 is Mr.
Okay, so we've got Avery coming on, and I must say, I've been quite impressed with the bat. Let's see what he's got with the ball. But unlucky today, been run out whilst batting with the skipper. Maybe a bit of ball watching from him, but he was looking very good. So he's going to bowl some off spin, and the field is well spread. And I don't see any change in what Dan Tabrak's going to do here. He's going to look to milk him to point and to square leg. And there we go, there's one.
There he is. A little bit nervous, didn't really know if there was a single there initially, but again, like we've said, getting off strike, getting down the other end, that's his game. Let Baresi look for the boundaries if that's the case, but as you feel, 4 or 5 runs and singles at the moment is helping the Dutch take it deep here perfectly.
Flat delivery to start from Avery, and nothing different second ball.
Pushed it hard.
Possibly 2 there, but no need to take the risk, and that's 2 off 2 balls here. Just looks like he's going to bowl these little darty off spins, and
I can't see him getting much assistance out of the wicket here with the finger spin. We've seen the wrist spinners turn it a touch. Peter Saylor didn't turn much, and we haven't seen much turn from Regmi, but and I can't see Avery turning it either, but you never know. As he bowls at stumps, then sitting on the crease a touch there. As we've mentioned, love to see him get forward and knock those balls into gaps.
Brought up the cover sweeper, fair enough for the dart bowler. He's worked down the ground for 1. Now, this doesn't look that inspiring, this bowling, in terms of trying to get a wicket. And it's just something I've noticed a little bit with Nepal. They just sort of sit back and they're going to hope that the batters make a mistake here. And from a Dutch perspective, what they've done this over has taken absolutely no risk. They've taken 4 runs off 5 balls, and that's all they really need to do. So it's not really proactive from Nepal, but at the same time, you're relying on your opposition making a mistake. It often happens, Piers.
Absolutely right, Peter. You're spot on the money there. As Irie comes in to finish the over, and there's another single for Tabrak, and that's perfect batting from the Dutch. It's all they need to be doing here. 5 off in singles, and you feel as though it's a little bit of a deflated Nepalese side.
विश्वास मनमा पर्दछ त्यही विश्वासको साथमा अघि बढ्ने प्रेरणा मिल्दछ
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सबैसँगै
Honda.
Tabrak, who's rotating stroke nicely in recent times, facing Basant, Regmi, and he's pushed that to cover, and there's no run.
Just got to keep trying to hit those sums, trying to build dots. We saw building dots in the first innings with Nepal created wickets, and that's probably the way they've got to go here, is trying to really build some dots as Regmi comes in again. Tabrak using his feet. Good positive intent. What are you going to be doing with your winter, Peter? Are you
I don't know.
coaching plans?
I'm going to get cold, I think.
Ooh.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Come home to New Zealand.
I'd like to. It's a long way. It's not a cheap ticket, that one.
No, you're right.
This is home, and but I generally every year I've always gone back Pierce just to go and play some golf, and January's a good time of year to be there and not the best time of year to be here, but this year I'm going to be sticking it out here. The wife's got a job, and we've got a kid, so I'll probably be looking after him a bit. Regmi comes in now.
Worst places to be living in the world, that is for sure, Peter.
No, Amsterdam's all right, and I'm still playing cricket, so wouldn't mind the odd gig somewhere. Pierce?
Absolutely.
Anyone's listening in Nepal?
Yeah, nice wee Nepalese 2020 league.
That's right, trip to Kathmandu. That's what I'd like.
What a wonderful place that would be to go trip.
Go smash some spinners around. As Regmi comes in now to De Braak, and he's worked this one away. It's good. There's 3 dot balls, but he's managed to just keep his head and get off strike. Good batting. He's good over this from Basant. He's going to put his long on back for Brazy. And the 45 suggests the one man behind point. Still a slip in.
Just looking for something to grip off the surface, but it'll be interesting to see here. A good over so far from Regmi. There's a sweep, and that is a superb shot from Brazy. Pressure on in that over. 3 dots and a single from De Braak. Brazy gets on strike, down on one knee, and sweeps behind square, beats the 45 and away for 4.
Yeah, just a little bit straight here. It's a good option, but the deep square is in front of square. So when you play this shot off the stumps and you get across with your front pad, the ball's going to go behind square. So it's well played.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्स टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू।
Yeah, Dan is baking a cake. I've talked about it. This is how he likes to play, and he's doing a good job. This is sort of chase where it's sort of set up nicely. It's sort of chasing a score like 216. You've never really got huge run rate pressure, and you can just get out there, and this is exactly what you can do. What these two are doing at the moment. There's nothing much needs to change. The one thing I would say, Pierce, is that we have seen so far in this series, but also it happens time and time again in associate cricket, is these things can change very quickly. It's 2 batters, one on 40, the other one on 35. They're not match-winning scores. You have to keep going. You have to make sure if one person here can get 80 or 90, then the Dutch will win. But Nepal, although things aren't maybe going their way quite at the moment, are certainly not out of this match. They've won, let me tell you, in the last few years, Nepal have won many games like this. Bowling second, staying in the fight. It's still going to take some very good batting from the Dutch here.
You're absolutely right. They're definitely not out of the game. And as I said earlier to Yup on commentary, add 2 wickets to the score and it changes it. Wide signalled. Kalkarel behind the stumps, claiming that it's hit De Braak's pad, but the umpire does not agree. As you say, yeah, you're completely on the money there, Peter. Yeah, 2 wickets to that score. 104 is a completely different game, and especially as Irie comes back in, and another dot ball. You just hope that De Braak doesn't feel under pressure now to score. Did try to bring a sweep out. We don't see him play that very often, especially in New Zealand. There you go. Good single there. Get off down the other end. It's the best place to be batting in these sort of circumstances. End of another over. 24 gone. And that is 98 for 2.
बढिरहेछ छरेदै मिठो मुस्कान यो नाता मनको अटुट छ निभाउँछु साथसँगै उडिरहेछ बढिरहेछ फिजाइ पङ्ख सम्बन्धको
सम्बन्ध 50 वर्षको होन्डा
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट
Sandeep though. Short, wide, cut, one. Good shot.
Yeah, good from Tabrak to get down the other end. And you feel like this is the trump card. You feel like Paris knows it's just sort of cruising a little bit. He needs to find something. And he's gone to his young spinner to try and find a wicket.
It's well bowled. I've enjoyed the intent of Baresi against the spinner though today. You've got to have that against leg spin, I think, because they will give you the odd ball that you can score off, as well as some jaffers, you know. And if you're just going to sit there and fluff around, can be you can get yourself in a bit of strife.
Absolutely right. Put him off his line and length, as we saw in the 2020 with Scott Edwards at Lords. Using the sweep, putting him off his length, he had to change his game. So the intent of Baresi to look for that reverse sweep, constantly finding singles and rotating that strike, is really helping the Dutch's cause here against Lamachani.
Love watching this kid bowl as he comes in again now. That's the big slog sweep, bit of a top edge, but in the gap, and they'll get two, will they? Yep. Big shot, and that is a half chance, I suppose.
Brings the 100 up for the Netherlands inside the 25th over. But yeah, interesting shot to go across him early. He's been using the reverse sweep, playing with the spin. He's now gone against spin, bit of a top edge. A little bit of hope there for Sandeep if he can get one just to drop a little bit quicker. Superb to watch a fast leg spinner though.
Oh, there's a wrong one.
Well,
he's back though, and he's played it late enough to find that one into the offside. A little bit of frustration there from Sandeep. I think has yet to pick up a wicket today. Baresi played that last ball well, didn't he? He's gone back. Spun onto the stumps, but he's just played it so late for that one.
His ability to open his hands off, just put that in that cover point gap is impressive. It's Tabrak on strike.
A dot to finish the over, and Netherlands going okay here. 102 for 2 after 25.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट healthy home paints KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
Honda.
And taking the Netherlands hopefully close to a second ODI win in 3 days.
And Regme now is coming back from the Mulder end to switch of ends for him. So this is the end that Peter Saylor had a bit of success from. So let's see how Basant goes. Nice and slow first ball, and on the money. Good start from Basant. Two for 102. These two doing a good job at the moment. A little sort of a sweep shot there. I don't think it was his first intent. It's good bowling.
Good communication there from Baresi. Tabrak setting off for a single. Big shout of no. sent him back. No alarms here, which is good to see that Baresi seems very calm at the crease.
More bowl again. And you said it earlier, Piers, even though there's absolutely no need for any sort of panic for the Dutch here, dot balls, often something changes, doesn't it? Something happens. So let's see Baresi just get off strike here, hopefully. Oh, and it's a bit of a risk. He's played the sweep, and he's got a single. Good call from De Braak to get down the other end. Just felt like there's something going to give there.
Absolutely right, Peter. You just felt like Baresi was really looking for that. Just a boundary option. He does love to hit his boundaries, so it's good there from De Braak to get down the other end, bring a little bit of calm and sanity to the crease. 2 balls left in the over here.
It's been a good one from Regme. Comes in now and hits a good length again.
It's a lovely line he's bowling here. Just attacking those stumps. Dan not getting well forward, but using that bat just to try and find that single either side of the wicket through cover point or backward square leg. No 45 now, an extra man behind point.
Well bowled, excellent over from Regme. As you say, didn't leave the stumps, mixed up his pace, and just the 1 run from it.
It is.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट healthy home paints KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्थ टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको।
Yeah.
The salespeople.
You look like a man who'd like a Momo.
No, I cannot deny that.
Okay, this is good stuff here from Sandeep. He didn't take a wicket. He hasn't got a wicket yet, but he's come back, particularly in the second spell, and he seems to have the ball on a string.
But Nepal do need something to happen, don't they? These two are going along very well. Partnership, we're 74 now. It's and without taking too much risk.
No, they're doing a good job. It was nice batting there from Baresi. He used his feet and just pushed it wide of mid-on. Good piece of fielding at mid-on as well, because on this outfield that would have gone for 4.
When do you expect them to bring Sompal back?
No, it'd have to be pretty soon.
Have a go.
You know, we sit here and we say they desperately need a wicket, but Netherlands still need another 112, 113 runs, and we saw that last over from Regme, just the 1 run from it. They're hanging in there, Nepal. Talked about it with Pierce just now. You know, you're only 1 or 2 wickets away from a very, very interesting game here. So I think Nepal's standards have been high. They've kept them high. These two have batted well, and Nepal haven't slipped. I tell you now that, as I said earlier, the way they play their cricket, the amount of wins they've had in these situations, there'll be still belief in the Nepalese camp. I guarantee it. As we see Sadiq here bowling to De Braak, to Braak on 37.
I've been very impressed by De Braak's discipline. He's been moving around the crease well, not taking any risks, rotating the strike. He's doing what the opening batsman should do in a situation like this. I'm a little bit worried about his shoulder though, because he keeps rubbing it and exercising it.
Yeah, it's probably come out of its socket. Wouldn't be surprised. He's got a few shoulder issues. That's another very good over for Nepal. Just the 1 from it, and.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट हेल्दी होम पेन्ट्स KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
यो फिल्म बुझाउनै सक्दिन तपाईहरु आफै आएर हेर्नुपर्छ
Cricket from Nepal. Rigme continuing from the Mulder end.
Namikani not for 21 off 6. Rigme in his 5th over. 14 runs against so far. Very economical.
Oh, he's dropped that short.
Big shot. And that is what the Netherlands needed at this moment. And it takes Baresi close to a half century. He moves to 49, not out.
Well, it wasn't a good delivery, but as we said earlier with the full toss from Lamachane that Baresi put away, it's good that he's got the intent that he can still smack that, because what happens in this situation often, you just hit that straight to mid-wicket and you're out when you get a poor ball. As long as you're still looking to hit the ball, and he's obviously doing that, and this is going to be close. Oh, I think a direct hit there. Would have been in all sorts. But yeah, it's good batting from Baresi. He's barreled up his 50, and it's been a top innings.
It's the runs of 66 balls with 6 fours. That is the summary of the Wesley Baresi innings, and a very valuable one for the Netherlands. He was criticised a little bit during the triangular tournament, the game against Scotland, for scoring a bit slow for a 2020 game. Scored a lot of runs though, but he's doing really well here.
Strange shot there from De Braak. He's with mid-on up, deep mid-wicket up. He's looking to go over the top. When I say strange, it's probably not that strange. It's just a poor execution. It's maybe strange in the context of his innings so far, but you can see what he was trying to do. And he's lucky he's got away with one. Here's Rigme. He's bowling well here. Just the one poor delivery. He's doing a good job for Nepal. Short though, this one, and that's easy. Down to long off for one. Vere looking at picture. It's a beautiful ground, this. Very lucky to have played goodness knows how many games here. I've probably played 300 games here. And it is looking as good as ever today for this historic series, particularly for the Nepalese. They're fighting hard here, and the first two of hopefully many ODIs for this.
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सधैँ सँगै
Honda.
Because we're giving the Dutch perspective, it's great. So I'm going to jump off as Lamachane prepares to bowl to Baresi, and we're going to hear from Peter Della Penna.
The score on Nelson, 111 for 2. Baresi 51. De Braak 38. So let's take another one of those quick singles. I welcome my friend Peter to the commentary box.
So you're enjoying the day?
It's another glorious, hot Dutch summer day here in Amstelveen. And that right there, that last ball has been the story of the series from the Dutch batting perspective. Just short, sharp runs, taking on the fielders, very aggressive. And it led them to a victory on Wednesday, and it looks like they're going to be on their way to another victory here today.
What was your highlight of the day so far?
Well, if you're just a neutral cricket fan, it's hard not to get excited by that phenomenal catch by Rohit Podal. Just 15 years old, ODI debut. He didn't score many runs with the bat today, but that catch, you'll never forget that on his one-day international debut.
I'm sure that one will make it to YouTube as a clip, and it will be shared all around Nepal. We have a lot of viewers in Nepal, I was just told by the director of our coverage, produced by a sports broadcasting company.
A lot of viewers in Nepal, a lot of Nepal fans watching.
Well, yes.
Outside of Nepal, too.
A lot of Nepalese names registered. Well, that is the breakthrough Nepal we're looking for. Well, when I started my commentary session a few minutes ago, I said Nepal needed a wicket, and they've got it.
It's the talisman.
Durack is out.
Sandeep Lemachane.
He has struck Durack 39, faced 83 balls, but he's out to the young leg spinner. In his 7th over, he strikes.
Looked like a slightly quicker ball. Couldn't tell if it was the googly or not, but it caught.
जतिखेर नि
सपना जुनै होस्, हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं। एनसेल, आज भोलि सधैँ सँगै।
झुल्किरहेछ, बढिरहेछ, छरिँदै मिठो मुस्कान यो नाता मनको अटुट छ, निभाउँछु साथसँगै। उडिरहेछ, बढिरहेछ, फिजाइ पङ्ख सम्बन्धको सम्बन्ध 50 वर्षको होन्डा।
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त।
Hey boy.
Delayed had played him confidently on Wednesday. Probably the shot of the day was when he skipped down the track quite early in Lemachani's spell and just flicked him over long on for 6. And for a guy who himself, he's only 18, got a lot of teenagers on both sides stepping up, which is exciting to see, whether it's associate cricket or any other kind of cricket.
Well, that is a run, a victory run for Lemachane. It's a very short stay for the Dutch batsman. That's a bit optimistic this early on.
Well, he did it successfully on Wednesday. Didn't hesitate to do it again today, but this time pays the price, and Lemachane is fired up.
And doesn't this fit right into the story of the match? Every time a team seems...
जतिखेर नि साइकल
साथमा अघि बढ्ने प्रेरणा मिल्दछ
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सधैँ सँगै
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट healthy home paints KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
Last 20 overs or so, or 15 overs, and Flamishani's just brought the innings back to life in the field for Nepal, and now, after the Dutch looked like they were well ahead, matches back even at 114 for 4.
It was an 84-run partnership between Baresi and Ter Braak. But we now have Delede back in the pavilion for a duck, and Ter Braak just before for 39. So the Dutch still have a lot of work to do here, and Nepal will certainly get some positive energy from this double strike.
Could have been 3 wickets too if Karen KC, who's on as a sub fielder in the previous over, had one go through his hands at short mid wicket, reached up a little bit late when Baresi pulled one kind of over his head. He had to stretch up a little bit, but it was right there. He didn't really have to move far and just couldn't get his hands up in time, or else they could have been 5 down at this point in time with Baresi also back in the pavilion.
Regmi starting his 6th over, knock for 22 for him. So far, pretty economical. We'll just have a look at the run rates. The Dutch are batting at a run rate of 3.92, and they require 4.93 in the rest of the innings to get to victory. They all seem very manageable numbers, but the most important number is in the wicket column. The Dutch have 4 down, and they can't afford to lose too many more.
Well, Rippon had a little bit of a streaky start on Wednesday. Took him a little bit of time to get in, and then he basically grew in confidence just by doing the whole ethos of just those tight runs between the wickets, and that's how he kind of got his groove, started to build his confidence, and he's starting his innings trying to find those quick runs, just rotate the strike, doesn't have to do anything fancy.
But isn't that all the Dutch need to do?
It's
stay calm.
They've got the momentum going against them right now, the Dutch, but the run rate is still very manageable, so they don't need to do anything crazy. All it takes is just Baresi to have a partner who will stick around with him, and Michael Rippon obviously showed he was capable of doing that on Wednesday and many other occasions for the Dutch.
That is a lovely shot.
And he's used that sweep a couple times. We've seen a reverse sweep for 4 earlier as well, and again, effective against the spin. There's not as much turn for Regmi. So he's assured he's not really in too much danger. That one straying on the pads. Looked like it was going down leg, so a safe shot.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्थ टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
History to score a victory on their one-day international debut, and the first since Papua New Guinea a couple of years ago against Hong Kong. But I was talking about it on a commentary the other day. Kadka and Mao are the spine of the batting, and once those two fell within the first 2 overs after the drinks break, everything went up.
That was
south.
a very important contribution today from the fast bowler, or the fastest bowler, who scored a 61 runs. Paul.
Sampal Kami absolutely making claim for all-rounder status. He played aggressive, but he played smart where he was picking at his shots. It wasn't really too much slogging in there. It was a quick scoring rate, but he was playing with straight bat for most of that time, just playing straight down the ground. And it was only the few times he got a really, really loose ball, half-tracker, that he would swat across the line, but otherwise it was orthodox cricket, and he just got the balls to hit.
The Dutch unfortunately lost their first ever One International in '96 against New Zealand. The first Dutch game at the World Cup in India, Pakistan, and I think Sri Lanka. And then, but they won on comeback this time. The Dutch sort of in the wilderness for a few years after losing one-day international status, but they regained it last year, and they're making a comeback in this series. So it's an historic week for both teams, really, and there's a lot of cricket to look forward to. Maybe you are the right person to explain the structure of cricket going forward for teams like the Netherlands and Nepal.
A lot of that is actually up in the air. It's a popular question.
सम्बन्ध 50 वर्षको होन्डा
Is not going to be eliminated altogether, which was a concern from some associate fans. But few people I have spoken to at the ICC have given strong indication that they are very satisfied with the success of the development program, seeing the teams like Ireland and Afghanistan progress, and they still want to make sure that other teams continue to have that opportunity, which is good for the Dutch, good for Nepal, good for a lot of other teams like Scotland. UAE.
I think the Football World Cup also showed that the smaller nations can be very attractive to watch for a global audience. Not that I want to compare cricket and football in any way, because no, cricket is still a little bit more geographically limited in its popularity. But still, I watched Saudi Arabia play or whatever, and so did probably 100 million or more people.
And there's another one.
That is another wicket. The Dutch lose their 5th wicket, and it is another very important one. Well,
Basant hasn't been getting much turn, but Rippon said the other day he was a little bit shaky early in his innings. Before he gets set, that's the opportunity to dislodge him from the...
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँहरूलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्थ टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
कम्फर्टेबल छ, कन्भिनियन्ट छ, किजी नयाँ केटाहरूको लागि हो,
यो केटीहरूको लागि हो
यो त सबैको लागि हो Honda scooters यो सबैको लागि हो
in the pavilion. But so Wesley Baresi probably holds the key for the Dutch innings. He's the best set batsman. He's in. He gave away a chance, but not too many. He's been playing the spin as well.
I believe it was a collapse of 9 for 45 the other day by Nepal, and right here the Dutch lose 3 wickets for 13 pretty quickly, and they need Salar to stabilize the innings. I wouldn't be surprised next over if Kadka maybe adds a second slip for Lamachani, add a bit more pressure. Still he's keeping himself in as the lone slip for Regmi, but Lamachani with the leg spinner could add a little bit more pressure. We saw 2 catching fielders through large phases of the Dutch innings with Stefan Myberg in under helmet at forward short leg. That's also a possibility.
Has been in great form with the bat in Dutch domestic cricket. Averaging in the 60s this season. Very important cock in the VOC machine. He bowled well in these 2 matches. Was out cheaply on Wednesday, but has shown himself to be a pretty reliable batsman over the last couple of years in the national team as well. 127 for 5. The quiet run rate reaches 5.
I'm a little bit surprised at this. You've got a chance to attack. They've lost 3 quick wickets. Sandy took 2 in an over. He's got 2 overs left. He's bowled 8, but instead of keeping him on, where he's got a good rhythm going, he's got the Dutch under pressure. They're taking him out of the attack and bringing back Sompel Kami.
Well, I suppose that is another way to put the batsman under pressure. He was pretty impressive in his first spell. Well, 5 overs, 1 for 15. But I do usually Dutch batsmen prefer facing seam up and pace than they do spin. Especially spin of a high standard.
And that's the reason why I'm a little bit perplexed. This sometimes captaincy theory of saving overs late, as if you're willing to let the other team stretch out the match to 50 overs rather than when you've got blood in the water, just continue attacking.
The Dutch need another 89 runs.
They've got Gyanendra Mala in as a catching fielder at Gully. No slip, with Sompel Kami making his return to the attack. So there's a little bit of slightly aggressive field setting there, having 1 catching fielder in.
It's another quick single. That gets the Dutch captain off the mark. First Peter Salar. I do agree with you. I probably would have kept the leg spinner on as well. But he's 1 more over.
He's your best wicket-taking threat. He's just taken 2 wickets. You've got a fresh batsman in. And especially with this kind of bowling, you got to attack the stumps. 2 bounces in a row, he's not had to play at. For 2 in the space of a couple balls. I'm not quite sure what he's going for here.
Especially when you have to say that the Dutch really cannot afford to lose a wicket, so you need to get them to play the ball. far forward. Very enthusiastic appeal. But the umpire, Huub Jansen, doesn't move.
That is a big call, and it looked awfully good from here. It looked good live. Yorker on the toe, and Baresi. Boy, oh boy. Sompel Kami was not happy, with good reason, it looks like, based on that replay.
Well, as mentioned, no reviews possible.
Ball was up to the bouncer with the Yorker, the 1-2 punch, and it worked almost to perfection, except didn't get cooperation from the umpire. A very, very optimistic view of that would say might have been missing leg. But it looked pretty good. Looked very good.
As Richie Bennett would have said, I'll let you make up your own mind about that one. So the change almost did work.
Would have been a huge, huge blow.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट healthy home paints KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्थ टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्ट।
It is a very interesting game of cricket again between these two associate nations. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I hope you are at home or wherever you are streaming this match, and whomever you support, as that ball sort of unfortunately hits the bowler on the foot.
I'm not sure what Regmi was trying to do there.
No.
He didn't really want to get down to catch it in terms of backing up, and didn't really look like he was in a position to just let it go for a direct hit. He was just kind of standing there adjacent to the stumps, and it goes for an overthrow as a result. I did not think Nepal had enough at the innings break, but for people who are keen followers of this rivalry, they defended 217 2 years ago on the same ground to win by 19 runs.
I was actually at that game.
Paris Katka scored a century on that day, half century on that day as well, excuse me. Scores another half century today, gets a bit more support from Sompel Kami. And that day 2 years ago, it was a one-man show, but got a big contribution today from Sompel Kami down the order. 61, currently the highest ever score in one-day international cricket for Nepal.
Well, I'm sure that record will be broken. An idea who the next opponent for Nepal will be?
It's going to be the next one-day international. They'll have a chance for somebody to break that record. Will be against the UAE in the Asia Cup qualifier. Of all the teams that are competing in that, Malaysia, Singapore, Oman, also involved. The UAE and Hong Kong. UAE and Nepal are currently the only two in that 16 field in the qualifier who have ODI status. So somebody might get a chance to break it that day, but otherwise, if they can't, he might be holding on to that record for a good year and a half, 2 years, depending on when Nepal next gets an opportunity to play a one-day international because you don't get an awful lot of bilateral ODIs like you have here in this series. It's mostly either World Cricket League Championship or some other context like the Asia Cup qualifier. And if they finish
Honda. ल मैले है आफ्नो बिग प्लेटको लागि विश मी लक यो फिलिङ्स बुझाउनै सक्दिन तपाईहरु आफै आएर हेर्नुपर्छ
to finance the fixtures as well, and that was the big obstacle for Scotland, that they used the last reserves in their annual ICC funding to come over here and play the T20I Tri-Series with the Dutch and Ireland. And once they spent their money on that, all of a sudden a potential opportunity when Nepal came up. Nepal was going to be touring the UK and Netherlands, and would have been nice for them to go up to Scotland as well, but there was no money.
Ooh.
Dipendra Singh area, I don't know what the Dutch are doing. They haven't been paying attention the last couple of days. He's been their most active fielder inside the ring. Had a couple of close shaves. They take him on again here, and it almost cost him the wicket of Baresi, the guy they could ill afford to lose at this critical juncture of the match. He had a really good view from about 14 yards out, all three stumps to aim at, airy, and Baresi would have been about 1.5 yards short if he had hit.
Well, Baresi scored almost half the Dutch runs so far. 64 out of 136.
He had a fantastic run out at Lord's in that T20 Tri-Series day, Dipendra Singh Airy, and throughout these two one-day internationals, he's been by far their best fielder.
Well, that is pretty handy for the Dutch, and something the Nepalese really could not use. Let's move on to 140.
Fine leg is fielding very, very square on the boundary. Balit Bandari and Sompal Kami gets it too straight on the legs. Simple flick for Baresi, and with Bandari as square as he is, there was absolutely no chance to cut that off. Easy 4 runs. Take him to 68. And this time you can see how square he is. That one goes right to him, but the Dutch with more aggressive running. They know he's got a weak arm out there. They take him on for the second. He got to the ball in plenty of time, but they've identified he's not got the strongest arm out there. And they got that second one quite comfortably in the end.
सपनाको आरम्भले जब विश्वास मनमा भर्दछ त्यही विश्वासको साथमा अघि बढ्ने प्रेरणा मिल्दछ
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सधैँ सँगै
And in terms of, again, we mentioned the Asia Cup qualifier coming up at the end of August in Malaysia, and this is the last match they're playing before that event begins. So Shakti Gauchon is not going to be a member of the touring squad in Malaysia. They wanted to get some of the younger guys an opportunity. There was the injury to Sharad Visakar, one of their key middle order batsmen. He came to the ground today with his right hand, the ring finger and the pinky finger neighbor strapped together with the injury that he sustained in the field. So it was, again, also a pretty good sign the way he was warming up, or not warming up, that he was also going to be sitting out today. And that was definitely going to open up the door for Rohit Podal to make his debut at age 15. And the only other question mark was whether or not they wanted to strengthen the batting a bit, bring in Subhash Kakarel as a wicketkeeper batsman, and kind of lengthen that batting that was a weak spot on Wednesday. And Karen Casey, who had a very poor opening spell, was the most obvious candidate to make way. And they've decided to go in with one less spinner, one more batsman, and make up some of those overs by using Airy as a part-time spinner in this innings in the field. But with this being the last match again before the Asia Cup qualifier, it was a good opportunity for them to blood those three other guys and get them a chance to have a hit or have a bowl. And Podal made the most of it in the field with that catch he'll never forget, as we said before.
Absolute highlight. All right, let's set the rest of the game up. And during this drinks break, the Dutch require another 74 runs with 5 wickets in the last 15 overs. Top scoring for the Dutch, Wesley Baresi. He is 71 not out and holds at least a big part of the key. Dan de Braak scored 39 earlier. Dutch lost some quick wickets after that and are 143 for 5.
I think the last thing I want to say before I step off and Peter Bourne comes back on is I'll be very curious to see when they bring Sandeep Lamichhane back on. I was a bit puzzled why they took him off when there was that pressure on and he was in the zone. And his last 2 overs, when they decide to bring him back, could be what makes the difference between the Dutch getting across the line or Nepal holding them off to defend the runs.
It's going to be a very exciting next 1.5 hours. Thanks very much for joining me again. It was a joy talking to you, and I hope to see you again at some point.
A little high five there from
why not?
Peter and you.
Some sensational insight in Nepalese cricket.
He's good, isn't he? Peter Della Pena, thank you very much, mate. Helping us out. He's going to take his long lens camera and go and take some snaps, and I'm coming back in here and the game is delicately poised.
What is your expectation?
Well,
I
mean, what can you say? If you look at the score, we've been saying all along that Duckworth Lewis par is not a bad thing to look at in terms of how a team is going in a chase, and the par score at the end of this over is 144. The Netherlands are currently 143 for 5, so it's very close. We've got Airy coming on to bowl as little darty off spinners. To Baresi, just sort of taps that half volley back to him.
Well, 2 overs for 9 so far.
Comes in again here. A little bit of width.
Well,
of that. We're saying Baresi, he's there. He's not out on 71. He's doing a good job for Holland. He's had a bit of luck though. It's fair to say. There's particularly the LBW shot of Sompal. It looks stone dead on the replay. It looks stone dead live, and it looks stone dead in the replay. And the Nepalese, the wicketkeeper and the bowler couldn't quite believe that wasn't given out. But you live with your luck, you ride your luck, and Baresi's he's on his way to
hopefully from a Dutch perspective, a match-winning innings.
I should really have a look at his highest score so far. He had that 134, didn't he? So he's quite a way off that. If he gets that far.
Oh, that looks out. Yeah.
Yes.
That looked absolutely stone dead.
That is
Plum.
the LBW.
He's not happy, but I'm not sure how. He's been hit on the toe again in front of all three. I think he's going to say that he's hit that, but it certainly didn't look like it from here.
I'm sure.
Absolutely plum.
We'll have a look at it. Yeah.
And that's a huge wicket.
The drinks break gets the wicket.
त्यही विश्वासको साथमा अघि बढ्ने प्रेरणा मिल्दछ
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सधैँ सँगै
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट हेल्दी होम पेन्ट्स KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
Wesley Barisi, 71 runs of 89 balls with 8 boundaries. That is the stats, but LBW bowled airy is how that innings ended.
Edwards and Saylor together now, the two VOC boys. They've played well together this season. They've got a big job to do now for the Netherlands. It's Airy to Edwards, and you know, there's a real bonus wicket that for Nepal, because I think Airy was more out there to just get through a few cheap overs, and now he's picked up the set batsman, so it's a real bonus that for Nepal.
Once upon a time seen a stat that it is one of the more likely moments for a wicket to fall is the over after drinks break.
Yeah, well, certainly if you're a set batsman, it does upset that rhythm a little bit.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्थ टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC
16 runs.
A bit of turn there.
Yes.
He's a good bowler, isn't he? And late in the day, especially now, if you've had a hot day, you should be able to get a bit of grip on this wicket.
We were looking forward to watching him bowl, and he has not disappointed us. It has been a very attractive and at times pretty spectacular, and he's done a really good job for Nepal.
Yeah, well, this one short and wide. Given the line of the delivery, it wasn't a tough one to pick. That was the wrong one. And Pete just rocks back. Saylor. It's the sweeper for one. Netherlands still plenty of time to get these runs. The run rate's not really a problem. The wickets column isn't looking quite as healthy as it was not that long ago. They were 2 for 120 odd. And they've done a little bit what Nepal did yesterday, as Peter was saying. It's, you know, a poor middle order performance here from the Netherlands. Lamachane and the Nepalese, they smell blood here. They're going for the kill. Loves a sweep, does Scotty Edwards. They've got the field set for it. Funnily enough, for a guy like Scott, it's not even, people think it's a risky option. Might be riskier for him playing straight if he's not picking it.
This is not that risky option. There's no 45 in place, so even if he top edges it, he'll get the run. It's well played by Edwards to get off the mark. Peter works that one. Peter Saylor to square leg for one. So can they re-establish a partnership here, these two? They need to, because Edwards is a very good player at number 8, but there is just the bowlers to come. Snater can hold a bat, as can Classer and Vermaker. They can all hold a bat, but they're not known for their batting, and they're not being picked for their batting. It's a good shot again, and he smashed that one.
That beats the fielders, and that is a welcome boundary for the Dutch, who make it to 150 in the 37th over.
I think it's fair to say that on Sunday he has struggled a bit against Edwards in recent times. Edwards loves the sweep, and Sandeep hasn't had an answer as yet. Of course, it could change, but Edwards put him to the sword at Lord's the other day. He also did the same thing in Kwekwe a few months ago when the Netherlands beat Nepal. All on this sweep shot. As he goes again, big appeal. They're going to get 2 to the 45. Saylor just makes his ground there, and they're going to make 3 even.
Yes.
झुल्किरहेछ बढिरहेछ छरिँदै मिठो मुस्कान यो नाता मनको अटुट छ निभाउँछु साथसँगै उडिरहेछ बढिरहेछ
सम्बन्ध 50 वर्षको होन्डा।
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट हेल्दी होम पेन्ट्स।
And the Dutch involved in a fight to win the second one international in a row, but it won't be easy. As Peter Boren has described a few times, Nepal love this type of game, and they will do everything they can to deny the Dutch.
Let's probably see Saylor here against Avery. He's looking for the single to point with an open face, and then if it's a bit straighter, the single just in front of the umpire on the leg side. This one's full though, so he can hit that down the ground. Avery, he's come in and he's got the breakthrough. Should he be continuing here? Not sure, but you know, maybe he gets another wicket. But
with 1 for 10 of 3.2, he has been doing pretty well.
He's been doing a fine job. Just not convinced at the start of a partnership that this isn't what you want to face. Like, I think this is what I'd like to face at the start of a partnership. We've only got the 5 men in the circle.
They have options.
And yeah,
Sompal has 3 overs left. Bandari 4. Namikane 1. Katka himself has 6 overs left. Rekni has 2 overs left. So Nepal have options.
Avery, though, currently doing a reasonable job. He comes in now. He's tossed that one up a little bit. That's that shot. Peter likes that one. With the open face.
Yeah.
They're going to run 2, and that's good running. It's a very good cricket shot.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट हेल्दी होम पेन्ट्स KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Nerolac Paints.
Lamachane on the sweep. They're going to have Sompal come back in to the attack. Saw him bowl a fantastic Yorker to Brazy, hit him on the toe, which must have been very close. And now he's going to come in to Edwards. They're 1 wicket away from the bowlers here, Nepal.
And do remember where Nepal was before Sompal started batting. The Dutch could have been home if they gotten him early already.
Absolutely, they would have been. But he played a fantastic little knock there, Sompal, in that first innings. If they'd got him early, then, yeah, this game probably would have been over already. But they didn't get him early. In fact, he looked very good right from the start, didn't he? As soon as he walked out to bat, he looked positive. He looked in control. And he played, what, so far, probably the best innings of the day, as far as I'm concerned.
He looked like a man on a mission. And his bowling has been pretty good as well. 1 for 27 of 7 before the start of this over.
Still 57 runs required for the Netherlands. Just the 4 wickets in hand. And a Nepal team who are on top of their game at the moment. That's short though, you can't bowl there. We've seen it all day long. And, he's not timed it that well, so just a single. We've literally seen that in both innings. Every single short ball has been put away just about. The wicket we see now on a hot day is starting to dry up a bit. See a bit of dust when the guys are scraping their guard. It's probably more looking for the LBW and bowled here, I'd say. Sompal. That's short, he's pulled that one away and it's beat the fielder. He's now going to have 3 there. He runs hard. Just the 2.
That moves to 163 for 6. I still have the feeling there's more twists left in this match. It has certainly been very interesting viewing.
Ja, nee, zo werk ik vol met dat werkt dat. Dat is wel
It's good bowling from Sompal. Getting it up.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट healthy home paints KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
ला मैले देखाएँ आफ्नो बिग ट्रेडको लागि विश मी लक यो फिलिङ्स बुझाउनै सक्दिन तपाईहरु आफै आएर हेर्नुपर्छ सलाम टुवर्ड्सको पहिलो गाइडेड ट्रेकमा स्वागत छ
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सधैँ सँगै
The most boundaries in 4. The Dutch have in total hit 15 boundaries. All 4s, no 6s as yet.
And Bandari here, I think he's going to be coming over the wicket. He probably won't get the ball to swing like he did at the start. I can't see that. Ball's a bit older now. So probably just the angle across. And that is definitely angle across. It's too wide and it's well fielded at backward point. Crucial stop that because there's no one going to be backing that up. Would have been 4. It's a poor start from Bandari, but he's got away with it. So the thing with the left armour, if he's not going to be swinging it, has he got some variation in terms of a cutter? Or the
a short ball, although he's probably not got the pace for that. So if he's just going to rock and a bowl across these boys, then they should be able to score pretty freely. Comes again. That's wide again, and Sailor's just missed out there. We're just starting to get the sun coming into the tent here.
Yes.
And yesterday this got rather hot, and today it's it's getting similar, isn't it?
It is. It's getting a bit warm. I say it was about 28 degrees when I drove into Amsterdam this morning, and that was around 10 o'clock. And the forecast was about 30, but I'm sure it is warmer than that, especially here.
See Bandari now coming round the wicket. I actually think that's a better option with the old ball for the left armour. But he's still given width, and that's a great shot from Sailor behind point. They're putting the pressure on. Regmi not with the strongest arm in the team. They come back for 2. It's just the angle from round the wicket that should cut that shot off, although Sailor's got good hands. You don't want to give him any width. Probably want to bowl quite straight here. Just maybe 4th stump with this angle, or the top of off stump. Try and create some pressure that way. This ball's not doing much for him anymore. No, that's too straight. But just the 1 run on this occasion.
But the important thing is that these 2 batsmen, at least from a Dutch perspective, are getting the scoreboard to continue ticking over.
Well, they have, haven't they? I think, Edwards has looked positive, Pete too, Sailor as well, and the last few overs, far from being in their shell, they've managed to rotate the strike nicely. We've seen a swept boundary from Edwards, and other than that, not a lot of dot balls, so it's good busy cricket from these 2 guys.
50 runs required for the Netherlands.
Oh, that's close, even from round the wicket.
Yes, given out LBW.
And that was even from round the wicket on that angle. I must say Edwards has a little bit of an issue playing around that front pad, and he's susceptible to that. He should be hitting that to mid-on. He's looking square for some reason, and I tell you, I think on the replay I would have given that out too.
Honda.
Anymore. It's come round the wicket. He's bowled a straight ball, and unfortunately Edwards, a dangerous player that he is, he's also got a little bit of a weakness there, and Bandari has taken advantage of that. The new batter is Shane Snater, and he made a duck on Wednesday, so he's going to have to do a bit better than that today if Netherlands are going to have any chance. Bandari were going to continue around the wicket. The wicket just starting to keep a bit low, as you say. 3 LBWs in this innings. Snater, particularly early in his innings, sometimes doesn't, the footwork's not quite there. He gets caught on the crease a little bit, so let's hope he's getting a good stride in here, because I can imagine that Bandari is going to be targeting those stumps again. And that's just the end of a successful over. Bandari, a huge wicket there, the wicket of Edwards, and the Netherlands.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट healthy home paints KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँहरूलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्स टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर ब्याङ्क, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
Good catch from the captain.
Yes, 2 overs left. Picked up to 1 wicket for 33 runs.
Easily played by Sailor there, just rocking back. See Shaker here, he's pretty quick, and that's just 1 run. So it's quite tough for the captain here, Peter Sailor, because he's not going to want to change that game. He's literally just going to try and get a single every ball because he's going to try and take it deep. But it's going to take these other guys to make sure that they can get singles too. It's not easy when you first just walk out to bat, particularly against the spin. What has Shane Snyder got for us today? He bowled a lot better today than he did on Wednesday. Hopefully he bats a bit better as well. Yep.
Well, that will be pretty handy for the Dutch. I won't say things are desperate yet, but...
Oh, that's full. That's where he wants it. If he gets that length, then Snyder will climb into it. Oh, it's well bowled by Regmi, nice and straight, but nicely worked as well.
2 out of this one.
Easy 2 out to deep mid wicket.
Well, Snyder has played 3 first-class matches and averaging 24. So that's not too bad. It's a lot better than the other batting stats, to be fair, but I'm a little bit...
Toss that one up. Snyder down the ground for 1.
Averages 7.33 in List A matches. And in ODIs, his average is 0, because he only played 1. He was out for a duck yesterday. But you can cherry pick in stats. That's what they're for. What is the saying again? You have lies, big lies, and statistics. 171 for 7, the Dutch.
So they'll be a bit disappointed with those last 2 balls. Not getting them away. But at the end of the day, he's...
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सधैँ सँगै
see there, although that's a little bit back of length I suppose, but Snyder, his first instinct anyway is to go back, and hopefully the wicket keeps playing okay like it did on that occasion, and he'll be safe. But I've seen him caught a few times doing that. And Bandari here zeroing in on the stumps from round the wicket, bowling to Snyder.
Well,
missed out there, Shane. That's a full delivery. quite likes that, but
he will be a bit disappointed.
It's not easy when you first walk out there. I think he should be aggressive, Shane. He doesn't need to hit sixes, but I think he needs to look to hit the ball, and I think he probably will. Sailor's probably looking to bat through the innings.
That is into a gap. And the Dutch take another single towards the required total. That brings Sailor back on strike.
So Nepal applying the squeeze. They've been excellent in defending the score. They've been absolutely fantastic. This is a running out opportunity, and he would have been out by a country mile there.
He has been out, and now it is an extra run, but it was worth the risk.
Yeah, that was never on that single. He timed it too well, and the mid-off fielder, generally you have, who's that at mid-off? Is that Sheikh? Oh, not, no.
Irie, yes.
Yeah, well, he's the quickest fielder in the team, and generally you don't have the quickest fielder in the team at mid-off, so I can see why often when you push it to mid-off you go for a single, but he's very quick, and that would have been out by a country mile, Sailor, so lucky he gets back for two. Could that be a big moment in this game?
Certainly could have been if that ball had hit the stumps.
Good fielder, isn't he, Harry? He's a good cricketer, actually. I really like his batting. He's busy. He plays some beautiful-looking shots. And he's the best fielder on the park from both teams today. He also has chipped in with the huge wicket of Parisi. So, very handy little cricketer. Oops, that's too short. It hasn't worked all day.
Work for the field on the boundary, and he does really well.
Great fielding, Shake. Tell you what, he was put to that.
Stops and throws the ball.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्थ टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा द काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC
I don't
मुक्त
like looking at. I've never really enjoyed looking at it in a
Japan's
big hole.
सर्वोत्कृष्ट healthy home paints KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
So on every ball, you have your different way of playing. Peter Saylor here, he'll be looking probably to hit a cover sweeper hard for a single.
As the captain himself gets back into the bowling action.
Kutka returning from the city end, and Shane Snyder's probably the one that's going to look to maybe take a risk here, because Saylor's going to be batting through. Snyder now on strike. Kutka taking responsibility at a crucial moment. We saw this in the first game. He came on when Nepal were under the pump a little bit, and he made the difference. So let's see what happens here. That's short, and a misfield. Great work from Long on those, kept it to 1.
We are heading towards a very exciting finish. Be glued to your screen back home. This game can still go both ways, or actually 3 ways.
Kutka continuing captain to captain here. Out the back of the hand, and that's Saylor's shot. Out to the sweeper. He'll be happy enough doing that. Paras Kutka, he's won so many games for Nepal over the last many years. And he's got the ball in his hand, and he's going to try and do the same again here today. That's good running. He's not the quickest fielder there, Basant, at mid-wicket. So 4 balls, 4 singles here for Holland.
Is that something you discuss before games? Who are the stronger fielders and the weaker fielders?
Absolutely. I mean, you see, Nepal in general are a pretty good fielding team, but there's a couple of outstanding fielders there, isn't there? You're definitely going to talk about those guys. And then maybe, Regmi, he's not the quickest, hasn't got the strongest arm, so he's definitely one to take on. It's definitely something that you discuss. I'm sure that the Netherlands have, the coaching staff. Short and left alone.
And the best catch of the match taken by a 15-year-old. Pretty special stuff. I remember in 1990 when India toured England, Tendulkar, only 16 years old, grabbing a sensational catch running along the boundary. Not that I think this guy will have the future of Tendulkar, but it is always very special to see young guys do something extraordinary.
This is a massive wicket.
And
a big shot.
That is a crucial moment in this match. The skipper is gone for 21. Peter Saylor will not be there to see his team home. He was caught and is out. Captain against captain.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्थ टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर बैंक, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट हेल्दी होम पेन्ट्स KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Netherland Paints.
Negotiate safely. Given the fact that they're 8 down this game, slipping away from Holland.
They have been losing wickets in regular intervals. We had that one big partnership, but now the tailenders will have to do the job for the Dutch.
Well, they're capable. They're not needing 9 and over, so they're definitely capable, but it's not going to be easy, especially with Nepal with their tails up. We've said it over and over again. This is just the kind of scrappy game, dog fight that they like, the Nepalese, and they're doing a great job in defending here. And that's a big hit. Has that gone all the way? I'm not sure. It's pretty close. Yes, it has.
Umpire, yes, 6 runs. Well, that helps.
Yep, Snyder. I said maybe they should negotiate this over if Sundeep, but he's going to, if it's tossed up there, he's going to have a full go, and he doesn't hold back, does he? He's had a full crack at that. Shane Snyder, very handy 6 runs, you'd have to say. There's these kind of close games where even a shot like that can make a big difference. Oh, and he's knocked him over.
And that is the end of Shane Snyder.
Slabajana, he's going on a run. He's gone 60 metres.
Well,
he didn't
Nepal
pick the wrong one.
on the brink of history. One more wicket needed to win their first ever one-day international.
जतिखेर नि साइकल
सपना जुनै होस् हामी भोलिलाई अझ सुन्दर बनाउनेमा विश्वास गर्छौं एनसेल आज भोलि सबैसँगै
कम्फर्टेबल छ कन्भिनियन्ट छ केजी नयाँ केटाहरुको लागि हो नयाँ केटीहरुको
को लागि हो यो त सबैको लागि हो
Honda Scooter, यो सबैको लागि हो
I've just fallen apart here against a disciplined attack. We've seen some pretty poor dismissals. I'm not going to have a crack at Shane Snyder, but because it's not his job, as I said. But
it does bring to the wicket Paul van Mechelen.
So we've got the two opening bowlers out there now. Still a chance. It's the run rate's not an issue. Here we are. We're sitting here in the, what is it, the 43rd or 44th? 43rd over. I mean, goodness gracious me. Lamachane. That's a good strike.
Big appeal.
He's
and
got
every appeal will be big from now on, because a successful appeal would mean Nepal have won the match.
I'm pretty sure he's got outside the line there, Paulie, but I'll tell you what. These Nepalese, they're right on top here, and Lamachane, he's smelling a win. He's bowled very well again here today. Comes in now. Oh, that's the wrong, and the ball's running away. I don't think that the batter necessarily picked that, but neither the keeper, and that's 3 wides handy for Holland at this stage.
That brings down the number of runs required. Claiming the catch, but no response from the umpire. But it is really nice to see all the enthusiasm around the field. All the players know
here we go.
History is close by.
Coming in here, it's another wrong one, and not badly played by Paul. It's nowhere near the bat. And
I'm sure that was not the last appeal we'll see, unless, of course, one of them is successful.
झुल्किरहेछ बढिरहेछ छर्दै मिठो मुस्कान यो नाता मनको अटुट छ निभाउँछु साथसँगै उडिरहेछ बढिरहेछ
straight, hopefully, here. That's going down the leg side.
As I said, every ball will be an appeal, whatever happens.
He's going to have to get that big foot of his out of the way here, Fred, because that's what Sompal's going to be doing. He's going to be zeroing in on those stumps. Fred has the tendency to fall over sometimes, so wouldn't mind seeing him just opening up a little bit. If he can get a ball in his area, he can hit it nicely down the ground. Sompal continuing to class it. And there's no run there. So, Nepal, we talked about it, they've been excellent. They've fought hard. They put a score on the board that we didn't think was enough. But this is what they do. They fight hard and they're disciplined. And the Netherlands, I'm afraid to say, the middle order today have not been good enough.
The Dutch were 114.
Lovely shot.
2.
Lovely shot. Lovely little piece of timing there from Klaassen. They're going to get 3. It's good running from the 2 big opening bowlers. So what have we got? 191 for 9. There's not that many required, really. This should have been a comfortable victory for Holland, but credit to Nepal. They've fought hard.
And they've taken wickets at crucial moments.
Haven't they, Joop?
And as I said, the Dutch were 114 for 2.
Yeah.
And now you're 191 for 9. It is not quite the collapse that Nepal had, but it isn't good enough.
Van Mechelen now on strike. Well played by Paul.
a big resounding no to his opening bowling partner. They're also both first slip fielders, these guys. I quite like that in this series. We've seen the opening bowlers walk straight to first slip for each other. But now they've got the job to do with the bat. Not necessarily what they were picked for, but they are capable, these two. So, Sampal, short ball, cut out. Bit of lazy running.
Side to stumps. That was a bit of a unique dive. It was more of a football sliding than a cricket dive.
Yeah.
But it is good enough.
Very good point.
Cloud dust.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone dive into their crease like that.
Yeah, when you play the lower levels of cricket, you do see it. There's a lot of guys that have started playing cricket late and played football before,
okay.
So they do that kind of sliding. But it is very funny.
Yeah.
Very, very funny.
Oh, that'll be wide. He's really
that's a free run.
Stumps here.
That helps. You can feel the tension out here, can't you?
Oh, it's awesome, isn't it? This is what one-day cricket is all about. I think we see quite a lot, particularly in England now, and a little bit in New Zealand as well. This average score is about 340, 350. High-scoring games where one team dominates. Well, low-scoring games can be pretty entertaining as well. Sampal, short ball, well left by Klaassen. That's a good over for the Dutch. 45 gone, 190.
स्वास्थ्यलाई हानिकारक VOC मुक्त जापानको सर्वोत्कृष्ट हेल्दी होम पेन्ट्स KNP, a subsidiary of Kansai Nerolac Paints.
कान्तिपुरको स्वर्णपुर 2 मा यहाँलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस् र पाउनुहोस् हरेक हप्ता 1 किलो चाँदी, हरेक महिना 10 तोला सुन र बम्पर उपहारमा 1 किलो सुन र स्क्रैच गरी जित्नुहोस् ल्यापटप, स्काईवर्स टिभी, स्मार्टफोन, वाटर प्युरिफायर, इमर्जेन्सी लाइट, ब्लुटुथ स्पिकर, पावर ब्याङ्क, घडी रु 200 देखि 500 सम्मको नगद छुट र गिफ्ट भाउचर्सहरू। जति छिटो ग्राहक बन्नुहुन्छ त्यति नै धेरै जित्ने मौका। आजै कान्तिपुर राष्ट्रिय दैनिक वा दि काठमाडौँ पोस्टको ग्राहक बन्नुहोस्।
Accurate. Nepal just 1 wicket away from an historic first ODI win.
Whatever happens, it will be historic. It will be a Dutch last wicket partnership getting a historic victory, or it will be Nepal getting their first ever one-day international win. I must say that the likelihood of the latter